Google I/O 25 just wrapped, and Google unleashed a number of new AI productivity tools. And while these tools won't replace your ops team yet, they will make you and your team faster. So the first one is kind of a series of announcements, was really AI integration into a variety of Google's work suite. So starting with Gmail, so what AI is now able to do is read your drive, read your prior Gmail responses, and really pick up on your tone of communication and write emails and responses in your voice. So a little bit creepy, in my opinion, but can be pretty helpful, I think, particularly if you're pressed for time and just want to get an email out the door. The second big piece here was AI integration into the overall Google Workspace. For example, where now you're able to do analysis in the sheet versus having to transport or copy and paste into Gemini or ChatGPT or upload the whole folder. So this is a trend where AI is getting lower and lower to the product level, to the more integrated, and hopefully save some time, make things a little bit more seamless. And then the last one, and I think this is probably the coolest announcement, was in Google Meet, there's auto translate, where someone's talking a different language and Meet will translate their language into yours. And it looks pretty seamless. Kind of the future is here in a lot of ways around this translation. So if you do cross-border calls, if you talk to folks that, English isn't their first language, this could be a game changer. Having been on many of those calls in the past, sometimes a lot is lost in translation. The second big announcement was NotebookLM. What I have seen so far is really promising and encouraging. So NotebookLM is kind of like a hyper-focused chatbot where it only relies on your information for answers and questions. So let's say you're a founder that's looking to raise money. You can throw your pitch deck, your research, your financial statements, etc. into NotebookLM. It absorbs that information, and then it can do audio transcriptions, it can do video transcriptions, do just a written summary, and it can also ask and answer questions for you. So if you're wanting to kind of prep up before a investment pitch, this might be a really interesting way to do that. The third announcement was more coding capabilities. I'm not a big coder, but if your business relies on coding, if you do coding, Gemini now has additional capabilities. The next few are more kind of hypothetical, but did want to call out VO3, the video generation, still very early stage, not available to everybody. But if you rely on advertisements, on short little clips, on really anything that relates to content, VO3 and its likely successors are potentially game-changing as far as generation of content. So I can say goodbye to my burgeoning YouTube career, but by and by, that will be a while until it replaces full-length videos, but the kind of more short clips, advertisements, kind of the future is here. And the last one is Google's deep research in Gemini is just getting a lot better. It can rely on your sources now and just provide a much richer, more in-depth research. There are a few more kind of longer range, not quite ready for prime time products. I did want to call out, we'll probably talk about it in a separate video, but Google Beam is really interesting, 3D video conferencing, and then Project Marin are two to keep an eye on. So overall, you're starting to see a ton of AI integration into the workspace. AI has been getting more hyper-focused, hyper-specialized, and hyper-specific to you and your business. It can now read your Drive files if you let it. It now can read your Gmail and create custom responses. It can now do analysis within documents. It has basically a hyper-specialized LLM with NotebookLM, which relies on your information to build. I see this more as incremental improvements, advances in productivity, in the way we work. But there are a number of AI advances, such as AI agents, that are coming, and they're coming soon. AI agents are more kind of focused resource experts. So think about HR agents, finance agents, legal agents, etc. These are coming probably for the next I/O. So I know we covered a lot today, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed by all the hype and just the sheer volume of these new tools that are hitting the market every day. So my suggestion to you is just take the time to experiment with one or two of these new tools and see how they work for you and your team. Because oftentimes the teams that get in there, that experiment, are the ones that end up deriving value from them. So I hope this was interesting to you. I hope this was helpful to you as you think about the crazy world that we now live in with productivity AI announcements coming by the day. I'll continue to do these types of videos to make sure that you're aware of these new tools, of these new trends, and how they relate to your business. So please do subscribe and follow along for the latest updates. Thank you for joining us, and it's time to build and it's time to get back in operator mode.